Welcome back, family, to Family Still Matters. I'm so glad you and your parents are here for another week of our team Bible study in Psalms. This week, we're studying in Psalm 62. Before we begin, let's review lessons, last week's questions, the questions from last week's lesson, Psalm 61. What does David ask God to do when his heart is faint? He asked God to lead him to the rock that is higher than himself. Question number 2. How does David describe God in verse number 3? David describes God as a refuge and a strong tower against the enemy. Question number 3. What does David desire to do forever in verse number 4? What David desires to do forever in verse number 4 is to dwell in God's tent and take refuge in the shelter of his wings. Awesome. All right, let's look at Psalm 62 today. All right. Psalm 62. Truly my soul finds rest in God. My salvation comes from him. Remember that. Truly he is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will never be shaken. As long as you're leaning on him. How long will you assault me? Would all of you throw me down? This leaning wall, this tottering fence, surely they intend to topple me from my lofty place. They take delight in lies. With their mouths they bless, but in their hearts they curse. Yes, my soul finds rest in God. My hope comes from him. Truly, he is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will not be shaken. My salvation and my honor depend on God. He is my mighty rock, my refuge. Trust in him at all times, you people. Pour out your hearts to him, for God is our refuge. That's present, like right now, forever. Truly, the low-born are but a breath, and the high-born are but a lie. If weighed on a balance, they are nothing. Together, they are only breath. Do not trust in extortion or put vain hope in stolen goods. Though your riches increase, do not set your heart on them. One thing God has spoken, two things I have heard. Power belongs to you, God, and with you, Lord, is unfailing love, and you reward everyone according to what they have done. May God add a blessing to the reading of that word. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Now, Psalm 62 is a song of quiet trust. David reminds us that our hope, our salvation, and our security come from God alone, not from money, not from power, not from people. This psalm shows us the strength of waiting on God in silence and trusting him as our rock and our fortress. Our memory verse this week is Psalms 62 and 1. It says, Truly my soul finds rest in God. My salvation comes from him. Definitions. Rest, that rest is silence, stillness, or calmness before God. A fortress is a stronghold or a place of complete safety. They used to build these fortresses years ago in biblical times to keep the people safe behind these walls. And if you watch movies where they have kingdoms and different thrones, you see how they build up these strong walls where the people reside within a fortified or city, which is like a fortress. Salvation, I think we covered this before, but salvation means deliverance, rescue, or being saved. Our questions for Psalm 62. Where does David say his soul finds rest? Question number 2. What does David call God in this psalm? And question number 3, according to verse number 10, what should we not put our hope in? In a world full of noise, teens are told to chase grades, likes on their pages or platforms or on their YouTube channels or Facebook, chase likes, money, or popularity for security. But those things never really will give you peace. You'll learn that. Psalm 62 shows us that true rest isn't found in having more. It's found in trusting God and often being content and being grateful and thankful for what we already have. When you feel restless or anxious, try pausing in silence before God. Like David, you'll find that God is the only rock that never shakes and the only fortress that never fails. Embrace that today. I want to give you guys things to hold on to that will carry you through your life. I want these words to echo to you and become alive to you, because the Bible only becomes alive when you use it and actually apply it in your life. So when you're going through something, I want you to be able to remember one of these Psalms or some of these Psalms so that you can say, I remember that. What should I do when I'm feeling this way? That's what I want these lessons to do for you. I want them to come alive. I want these words on the pages on God's Torah, his Bible, to lift up and to become a part of your life. I thank you so much again for joining me for today's lesson in Psalm 62. Here on Family Still Matters, we welcome you, we love you, and we just want you to be blessed. And we encourage you to go forward in God. And I pray today that every last one of you are blessed to see and to know that God will never fail you. May God richly bless you.